The laying pattern of the queen is not fantastic, but for this time of the year, we often find that is the case. Because they say the bees will tell you if we can expect a cold winter or not, because hi there guys, so we're here in near Eston on the way down to the coast, and we're just doing a check on our hives. As many of you in South Africa will know, we've had unprecedented rains and it's been relentless. So these hives are struggling a little bit with forage and being able to sustain their warmth inside the hive. So we're going to have a check on one or two of these, and let's see what we find. So this one has a super on it. Woo, and there's a lizard just ran away. That lid needs a replacing. So these hives were supered up a little while back when the farmer was cutting some cane in the hopes that they would draw out some comb up here. But many of them we're finding dry because the bees have simply eaten any resources that they have managed to salvage. So whenever we're checking a super to see if there's nectar, we're going to check right in the middle because that's where the bees begin. So we'll see what we've got here. You can see they are pretty much dry as a bone. Nothing in there. Wherever possible, we try to give the bees a fully drawn out comb after we've spun, just so that they don't have to rebuild the wax. It's said that depending on the area, bees need to consume anywhere from 6 to 8 kilograms of nectar to be able to build 1 kilogram of wax. So wherever possible, we try to give them the wax so that they don't have to build it. And that way we can also increase our honey yields on a flow. Very overcast today and a little bit chilly. So most of the bees are home, which means they are a little bit irritated when we open up. Okay. Right, so there's the main brood chamber. We mainly use Langstroth hives. These ones actually can fit 11 frames instead of the usual 10 because of the bee space that the African honeybee uses in comparison to European or Italian bees. Oh, so there's quite a few drones in here. We actively manage the drone numbers, so whenever we find capped drone brood, we would normally take it out. This is uncapped, so we're not going to worry about taking that out. And this frame is mainly bit of nectar and some lovely pollen. We have noticed the bees are bringing in 2 different colors of pollen, so there is obviously a natural pollen source around. So I think the main issue is the nectar at this stage. We're just going to place that side so we can check all of the frames. I like to just loosen them all before I get going, especially when it's cold, otherwise it hurts my arms. Right, so right on the end here we've got a new frame with a little bit of drawn out comb, and sometimes what the bees do is they actually eat that wax away. I'm not quite sure why they do that, but anyway, so we'll shift that one further in again. Right, so not much happening on there. It's a bit dark comb, but there is still a bit of nectar and pollen on there. And because the resources are quite strained at the moment, we don't want to take away anything from them if we can help it. On to the next frame. There's some brood. So we've got some cap brood here. There you can see the bees drinking the nectar away because we've smoked them. And there is, if you come a bit closer, you can see some larvae there. The white little larvae. And there are a few eggs as well. So yeah, that's looking good. I try not to shake off the frames if I don't have to. If I'm able to see what I need to see and not disturb the bees, that's always the first prize. And because I've smoked them a little bit ahead, they're all drinking nectar, so they're out of my way where I need to see what's happening. Again, quite a lot of lovely larvae. You can see it's all healthy. It's white and shiny. And it's in a perfect, like half moon, a little croissant lying in the cell there. So that's what we want to see. Right, I'm going to ask Shona, who's my assistant today, helping with the videography, just to pass this to me so I can show you just the different stages of larvae there. So there you can see the eggs. And as we move, remember the queen lays in a circular motion. as we move further to the middle, you're finding the slightly older brood there, older larva, which eventually will be capped. Yeah, so it's all looking great. On to the next frame. Remember, always looking for the queen. We want to see her wherever possible. There's a lovely fat drone. So even the drones are looking fairly healthy. Usually when there's huge strain on resources, those guys are the first ones to be kicked out. So it's obviously not as bad as we thought it might be. The laying pattern of the queen is not fantastic, but for this time of the year, we often find that is the case. Because she's increasing her laying and then reducing it depending on food supplies that's coming in. And so it ends up being a little bit higgledy-piggledy. This frame is mainly eggs and larvae, so that's super to see. And then on the other side, we've got some cap brood as well and some nectar. Not as much pollen as I thought we would see in the hive, but you can see the bees are starting to bring it in. Right, so now this lovely white comb, I'm in fact going to move and place it closer to the brood nest, because that frame is eventually, if the queen can lay into that, we can shift it further into the middle, because some of the other brood frames are quite dark in color. There's a hive beetle. 1 or 2 hive beetles is fairly normal in a hive, but if you're seeing huge quantities of them, you'll need to intervene with whatever you normally use for that. We often use a little terry cloth, which just traps them quite nicely. Right, now we're on to the last frame. Usually they say the bees will tell you if we can expect a cold winter or not, because they start to propolis the outside of the hive if it's going to be cold. So there is quite a bit of propolis on there, so perhaps we're in for a cold one. Here we go, look at that. That bee's got some lovely pollen on her legs. And this comb is quite old. I would definitely look at changing this one out. So we're going to change this frame. And we don't want to leave any old brittle comb in here, because that simply encourages places for hive beetle to hide. And we don't want to encourage any parasites in our hive. So, and whenever we're replacing new frames, we always replace them on the second position from the outside, never right on the outside of the hive. And that encourages the bees to build it out faster. And they'll then put some nectar in there. So on the opposite side, I'm going to do the same. Usually on the outer edge of the brood, we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 reasonable frames of brood, and we're replacing 1 frame here. Just remember, this hive takes 11 frames. Even though that looks like it's full, when you shift the frames over right to the outer edges, you'll find there's enough space in there for 1 more frame. If you don't put another frame, the bees will simply build and cross comb there. So it's fairly important. Right, so we're just about done here. We're going to change out that frame and move on to the next hive. Give us some comments down below if you have any questions, or if you're experiencing similar things in your beehive. We'll see you guys soon. Have a great day. Bye. It's here on me. Hi there, guys.